One of the most common comments we get on this channel, all the way from the very beginning of this channel, was, why do I wear a suit coat to the range? That's a great question. And there's a great answer to it. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that I just wear a suit coat really about 6 days a week. The reason I do that started when I was a very young teacher. The reason I started wearing a suit coat was because I could essentially wear jeans and a t-shirt and throw on a suit coat and suddenly I'm looking professional. It really made getting ready in the mornings and as a teacher much more comfortable and much quicker. For the most part, every single day, I get up and I put on about the same thing. I put on a t-shirt, a button-up shirt, a suit coat, pants, and shoes. And I have about 1 million variations of that, but I just wear the same thing every single day. And regardless of what shirt I have on, nobody can really accuse me of not being professional. For example, I have a Kansas City Royals t-shirt on right now. I'd also like to say that 100% of my suit coats have been purchased at a Goodwill or a thrift store. Literally all of them, with the exception of the suit coat I got married in. That one I did buy at an actual suit store. But the rest of them I get at thrift stores, and I have about 30. And I don't think I've paid more than $8 for any of them. One day in church, the pastor was preaching on something that Paul had talked about, which is having liberties as a Christian. For example, I believe that it is okay for me to drink wine if I wanted to. I don't feel as a Christian there's anything wrong with that at all. However, I wouldn't sit with my brother who is a recovering alcoholic and drink wine in front of him. It's just not the right thing to do, and I think that's what Paul's talking about when he says you can have certain liberties with certain things, but if it causes your brother to stumble, you probably ought not to do it. Now, I know that has nothing to do with wearing a suit coat, but the reason it does is because just a few days after that sermon, I was sitting in my classroom, and for some reason student council meetings during lunch were always in my classroom. I didn't participate in those meetings, but I did sit there and eat lunch while I listened to them have meetings all the time. And one day they were really kind of complaining to the principal about their dress code and the way they should dress. Now, this was a private Christian school, and they had a very stringent dress code. They had to tuck in their shirts. They had to wear a belt. They had to have a collar on. They couldn't have certain symbols or any sort of stripes or anything on their clothes at all. It was a very open dress code, and students did a great job kind of finding their own style in it, but it was a pretty tight dress code nonetheless. As I sat there, I kind of thought about myself and the way that I dressed. And did I cause these students to stumble? Did I in some way make them need to dress certain ways because of the way I dressed? And as a result of that, I started wearing a tie every day. Now, I don't wear a tie where I'm currently at every day, but back then when I was standing in front of students, I definitely did. Mostly because if I'm going to ask them to tuck in their shirt, I certainly am going to have my shirt tucked in. It would just be very hypocritical. So I really just kind of changed for the students. I just thought, you know what, I know your dress code is tight, so therefore, as a result, I'm going to dress better than you are. Because that way I'm showing that I'm going to pull my end of the weight. That way it's just not heavy on you. You at least have something to look up to, maybe. So I completely changed the way I dress. Currently, I still wear a suit coat every single day. And 6 days a week because I wear it to church as well. On Saturdays, and of course in my downtime when I get home, I don't wear a suit coat all the time, no. I don't sleep in a suit coat like that. It's just, when I get up in the morning, I pretty much put on a t-shirt, a button-up shirt, a suit coat, pants, and shoes. It's pretty common, just doesn't change at all. Now because of that, I train in a suit coat. It's so important that you go to the range. If you're going to go shooting, you should wear what it is you wear on a daily basis. I don't know if you've ever thought about the ability to kind of take your hands and thrust them forward in a suit coat because it's super tight around here in the shoulders. So you kind of have to get a hunch over it when you're thrusting your fingers forward to shoot a gun. And you just have to do that. And if you don't train, you're going to really be at a disadvantage. Also, I have to push a suit coat away. I have to be able to push it away to get to my gun. That also takes some muscle memory. There's no way you're going to think about all that in a panicky moment. I even leave my keys generally in that pocket. That way it's easier to push that suit coat aside to draw on my strong arm. So I wear a suit coat to the range. If I'm going to be out in the world, which is where I fear something's most likely going to happen, and I'm in a suit coat 6 days out of the week, of course I'm going to train in a suit coat. If I wore a ski jacket every day, I would train in a ski jacket. If I wore coveralls every day, I would train in coveralls. Shoot, if I was a priest or a monk and I had to wear a robe everywhere, I would go to the range in a robe. I'm not so sure all priests can carry guns. I don't know if there's a rule on that, but I know the high priests of the tribe of Aaron all carried swords. But if I had to wear a robe, I would definitely train in a robe. And that's really why I put myself in those scenarios. And, I've been to the range with friends. It's not just when I'm there filming. It's literally when I go with friends, I wear a suit coat. There was one day I was on a range all day with a whole line of people and it was hot, but I just wore a suit coat. I'm sure everybody looked at me like I was crazy, but that's how I was going to train. I was doing tactical pistol training. I'm of course going to wear a suit coat and during that training period. So that's why I wear a suit coat. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you. It's not really just for show. Although it is that as well. I think it's important that you're going to put yourself out there. You should probably look professional as well, like we do as YouTubers. So, hope this video helps. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. You can also now find us at GodFamilyAndGuns.org, on Full30, and on Facebook, and all those links are below. If you feel called to support this channel, our Patreon link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so never hesitate to send that stuff in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.